Welcome back to Brentocast. This week it's episode 4, my third attempt at making a video and a podcast. So podcast/vlogcast simultaneously. Had a couple of issues with the camera, which is what caused me to do a retake. But I'm trying to keep these as concise as possible, and so retakes give me the opportunity to be a little bit more direct with what I want to share. This week the big deal was I got to go see the incomparable, one-of-a-kind Garth Brooks, who after 24 years, finally the Garth has come back to Charlotte, North Carolina. It was my first stadium show, and just like my old friend Alan West told me about 20 years ago, if you ever have a chance to go see a Garth Brooks concert, go see it because there's nothing like it. In fact, he was correct. I was really blown away by the show, but just his ability to entertain and hold a crowd of that size. I've never been in a place with 70,000 people. That's the first one. The second one's I've never seen that many country fans in one place. I'm a casual country fan, like all kinds of music, obviously, but I really liked how he related to the crowd. Obviously, he has such a great wealth of incredible songs, but he also did some covers from some North Carolina artists, which was really cool. He did a bit on Randy Travis that was impressive and cool. The only thing about a Garth Brooks concert is don't ever plan to sit down because nobody does, and you're on your feet for 2 hours plus. I think it ended up going like 2 hours and 30, 40 minutes. I don't know. But it was incredible. The whole show was incredible. Best thing about it, I got to go for free, amazingly. I was invited by my super cool friend, Tony Torres, who also is not really even like a dedicated country fan. He just knew it was a big deal to get to see Garth, and he won the tickets. So he was thoughtful enough to invite me. That was amazing. But that put me in a spot of being very, very tired come Sunday, which was the big birthday party, Delilah's third birthday party, in fact. And once again, we held that at the historic Baden Inn. It was incredible. What a place to have an event. There's a time lapse that I will try to remember to link to in the description. If not, you can go to brentbowers.com, and it will be in this week, July 18th, series of vlog videos, which I say series because usually I try to hit at least 20 minutes, but this time I had enough for 3 different parts. So it's, July 18th weekly vlog part. Well, basically the first part's not labeled 1, it's just that the name of that week, and then part 2, part 3, and you can see the whole party actually on my channel. So it was epic. It was epic, and it was really cool because we got a break in the weather a little bit, which is still a little bit hot, 82 or so, but not 90, like it was supposed to be, and not like last year. Last year was a scorcher. We had it 1 week earlier in the year, and it was a scorcher last year. Not to say we didn't sweat. Now, the band was supposed to play, and instead of making those guys drag all the gear out, I just said, hey, let's just bring our instruments, and that's what we did. So we sat on the porch and played for a little bit. It wasn't epic because we were all tired, me and Tony in particular. And but it was cool to have them there at her party. So I just feel like those dudes are my really rock solid friends, and it's nice that they come to stuff like that because most friends, people that for years I would have called my best friends, don't show up to stuff like that. So Delilah is mi familia. Like, she is really what I'm all about right now, and having the people that I care most about showing that they care about me by showing up is really nice, man. It's like, so thanks Tony, Harrison, and Harrison's folks. I appreciate you guys coming out. Thanks to my cousin Misty and her family for coming out. We scheduled the party 1 week later to accommodate them because they usually go to the beach that weekend. So it was nice to have them out there in person. That was cool. And thanks to everyone who turned out and those who didn't but brought gifts and stuff, and those who are just friends of ours and always like and comment on Delilah's post. I appreciate it, and in the future I'm sure she's going to look back and appreciate that too. I know her mom appreciates it. So God bless you guys. It's wonderful to have such a beautiful and intelligent and just funny little granddaughter. She is amazing, guys. I could go on about this, but I'm not going to use up my 20 minutes on that. Y'all know how I feel about her. I don't have to tell you. I am ripping some movies this week with this cool device called a ClearClick, which you can find on Amazon. It's got a little screen on it, and it lets you connect any RCA input to it or even HDMI and rip it right to a jump drive. And so I'm going through my 1,000 tape archive here and picking out weird things that have names like other movies but apparently are not the same movie, or just stuff that you cannot find to stream like these two right here. I just held up The Strangers and My Mom's a Werewolf. Horror comedy, those are fun. I got a shipment of VHS in this week that was in excess of, well, let's see, if you count everything together, it was probably about 285 to 290 VHS. Some of those were blank tapes, and there were some repeats, but lots of stuff that I did not have. I now have a couple of really good copies of some rare VHS, hard to find, like Event Horizon, one of my favorite movies. Tons of diehards, let me say, and tons of Lethal Weapons. But it's all good. I'll get through them eventually, and I am gearing up, guys, to do a really put-together podcast for VHS Graveyard, which is my fan site on Facebook. You can find that on Facebook just by searching for the VHS Graveyard. But I digress. The week rolls on, and this week, here's what we got going. So obviously, 2 days of massage, like always. I have a couple clients left today. Back to working out this week. I jumped into my weekly walking by walking over an hour this morning. My partner was late getting out there, so I once again was accountable and made sure that I got my walking time in. And that's really what this fitness drive is all about this time, is just, relying on the big man and not really anybody else. And on that note, I've decided I'm going to take some training to become a personal trainer 2 nights a week starting August 22nd. So that'll take up some of my time that I'm putting on music projects, but not all of it, hopefully. Now, I am going to be doing a production project for my friend Ron Vigil and his brothers, and that project's called Vigil. We've actually done the first work tape for that record. It's kind of like 50s oldies music. So a work tape is really a fast, quickly put together sketch out of what you think the song might be like, and just to throw all your ideas out. It's not something you tune the vocals or get anything really perfect on. It's something you put together in maybe like an hour. Harrison and I have done the first work tape for that project for a song written by Dennis Vigil called One Look at You, I believe. I'm going to play a little bit of that on the outro just for you guys to hear what a work tape might be. But yeah, it's been a super fun week this past week, and I'm going into a bigger week this week. As always, the thing to get through last week was the double-edged blade of energy going out without any rest, which was, of course, the Garth Brooks concert, and then the very next day, the Delilah party, but I was glad to do it. And again, there'll be a playlist on my YouTube channel, which you can find. It's like youtube.com/Graybro. That'll be Delilah's birthday party. It'll be open to the public if you want to check it out. So this weekend we are performing at, I think, the Draft House in Locust as part of an open jam, but we have our own Bowers Foreman set, and that'll be me, Harrison, and Tony, and I think it's around 10 or 11 in the morning. I'll get that date sorted out and probably post it on our social media, but yeah, it'll be neat playing in a new restaurant, and the backline is provided by RBC Music, and they're the ones that invited us to come play, so that's cool, and we look forward to that. And then Sunday, we'll be right back to working on our album 5x5. I believe that's the final Sunday. We're trying to do a 1-month project. In other words, from start to finish, we record and create and put out an album in 1 month, and I think we're on track to do that, so that should be great. And then the weekend after, which of course I'll get more into that as we get closer, on the 30th, we'll be doing live performance at Loafers and Legends, which of course is in Baden. Great place to eat, great place to catch a show. That'll be a Saturday night, and we'll play from 7 to 9. In the movie minute this week, instead of talking about a movie that I'm going to see, I'll talk about a movie that I chose not to see. Thor, Love and Thunder. You know, I really love it when the MCU and Disney, these people that are running the Marvel now, when they show us that they really don't care about us, it just really makes me draw back and spend less money, which is a good thing, right? I enjoyed every single Thor picture. All of them I thought were good. The first one was great. And I would have been a natural to go spend that extra $20 with them, you know, in addition to paying for their overpriced, if you ask me, streaming service. But thanks to the super woke and lack of canon involved in the trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder, I won't be going to see that picture. You know, this is a classic example of what happens when your boy tries to record a podcast. So in the middle of this, it's going to be my wife calling me once again No respect, I tell you what. So it's amazing that I'm able to get one of these out per week. I'm going to try to text her and see if I can get that noise to stop. See how long it takes her to read that text. But yeah, did I mention that the game behind me is Jackie Chan? If I had the sound turned up, you'd hear him going, "I'm Jackie Chan. This is my game." It's always good, and I always get asked about that, so I always like to share which game I'm playing. And I want to feature a different game that I think is kind of cool in my collection of, 2,200 games in that main cabinet. I need to get that MAME upfit, and I really wish that the 1200 production guys that made that for me would respond, because I do want to have them to upfit this to a newer version of MAME and make some needed tweaks to this cabinet. This cabinet was a brand new design that they did for me, and as such, it needs some kinks. It has some kinks that need to be worked out, but in general, I recommend those guys. Okay, so this one's going to be a short one, guys. I think because I've done it 3 times now, I've sped through all the content, but this puts us at number 4, and hopefully at number 5 we'll start getting propagated onto iTunes, and then I'll start having guests and put a little bit more pre-work into these. I'll just say that the wheels are always moving, and I am trying to be moving with them, and this whole drive to get in shape and go take this personal trainer course. It's really about getting me in a place where I have more energy and just can produce more content, because that's my drive, Be an artist, put the music out, put the videos out. I have a film project that I kind of have started to think about that I want to do. I did get to hear from one of the old Mutantville guys this week. That was my buddy George Blaylock, a.k.a. Geo to the Swanko, if you followed the Mutantville. One of the most agreeable human beings that I've ever been around. Super nice guy, and it was good to hear from him and hear that he's doing okay. Living in North Wilkesboro now, I think, which is on toward the mountains from here. But a good little haul from Albemarle. But yeah, we were hooking up over some old, I guess, Mutantville login or something that used to be associated to one of my Xbox accounts or something of that nature. But yeah, it's kind of a blast from the past. Don't get to hear from George, but about once every year or two, he'll need to call me for a password or something. And I don't even know what those guys are doing with that stuff anyway. I know that the YouTube channel of Mutantville is archived, which I guess you can still see the videos. It's just not putting anything new out. But I'm not in that account anymore, so I don't really know. But I was obsessed there for a while with trying to make my own version of that archive, just as for personal backup, so I could just kind of go to it and watch it. But then I realized, I was like, hey, it's not going anywhere. I'll just go there and watch it if I want to watch some of it, which doesn't come up very often. I'm a nostalgic creature, though, for sure, and that nostalgia sometimes will make me go back and look at that old content. But yeah, it's good to hear from George again. One of my good friends, Larry Reinhardt, unfortunately had a heart attack, pretty severe heart attack, back on, I want to say July 3rd. And, he's still in a danger zone, I think. His wife updates their social media. They have a joint social media. And I sure do worry about that guy, and I would really like to go visit him, because over the years I've found him to be a one-of-a-kind character who I really like. I like hanging out and seeing him, and I sure hope this isn't the end of that. So God bless you, Larry, if you ever hear this. I'm praying for you, buddy. Hang in there. We've lost too many good ones, I wish some of the bad ones could start fault. No, I don't wish that. I don't wish death on anybody. But anyway, this one's kind of been a downer, man. I feel like I hit with high energy for the first 2. But yeah, the recap on the week, Delilah, we did so much stuff this week that it actually took 3 different vlog videos, because I limit them to 20 minutes. So if you go to BrentBowers.com, the first page that pops up is the weekly vlog, and you'll notice that the weekly vlog for July the 18th has 3 parts. Watch them all if you want to see the adventures of Delilah. She got tons of gifts, but one of the things I did get her was a little Minnie Mouse car, electric car, and she's riding all over the old golf course paths out there at Baden in those videos. So do check that out. And hope everyone has a great week. We're going to cap it off early this week, and I'll have a little more structure next week. I am working on a new theme song for this, but yeah, things have been a whirlwind lately, and Most weeks it's hard to squeeze in one recording of this, let alone 3 like I did today. But at least finally the GoPro is working, and I'm trying to be committed to offering a video and the podcast audio, just for posterity. And I think it's a cool thing to do, and I like that when I view stuff. So, thanks for listening to Brentocast, and one more of these will be hitting iTunes very, very soon. You guys have a great